students, and welcome to another video lesson from LibreOffice Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This video is part of the playlist called Python tutorial, and here we'll be learning how you can create your first Python game. It's not so sophisticated, it's not graphical, but nevertheless, it is a good opportunity and excuse to put into practice what we have learned in the previous videos. Okay, so I'll put the code in here and explain to you line by line. So as I said, we'll be putting to good use whatever we have learned in the previous videos of this tutorial series. So at the very top of the script, I am putting an import statement to import a library called time, from which we'll be using a function later on. After that, I'm just printing, meaning displaying this text here within the double quotes. So think of a number between 1 and 10. So is this not at the prompt, but I'm displaying it out there to the user who will run this. Okay, think of a number between 1 and 10. So the user will not guess, but think of a number and pick that and keep that to himself. And then the next is a function of the time library, okay? So which we have imported at the very topmost of the script of the Python file. So you have a function called sleep, and to it you are passing a parameter of 2, which is 2 seconds. That means you're telling Python to not do anything for a moment, for 2 seconds, before doing the next thing. So before proceeding. So next is I'm declaring a variable called reply and giving it an initial value of capital N, which is a string data type. And then I am also declaring a variable called num, which is an integer, and giving it an initial value of 5. And then I'm declaring 2 more variables, v min, with an initial value of 1, and then vmax with an initial value of 10. Okay, so the 1 and the 10 are mainly for defining the minimum and maximum values within which I'll be operating while trying to guess the user's number in mind. Okay, and then after that, we will have a while loop here, which we also have taken up in a previous video in this series. So while this condition is true, meaning while the value of the variable reply, which I have declared here and initialized, while the value of reply is not equal to y, then just keep on looping on. Okay, so all the indented code here beneath the while phrase will be the looping code. So again, you see the variable code reply, and then to it is what is being assigned or passed is whatever was entered by the user when he was prompted. So this input function, as you know, is one of the very first functions we've learned in this series, and it is going to prompt the user with this text that I am displaying here. So is it, some concatenation here, is it, and then the string value of the num variable, which is right now is 5, and then the rest is also being prompted to the user. Okay, and then it is being converted to upper text, meaning it doesn't matter if the user enters the text in mixed case, proper case, lowercase, uppercase. It will all be converted to uppercase prior to some kind of logic, some kind of validation. Okay, so here we have some if conditions here. So if the value of the reply variable is equal to h, uppercase H, don't worry about the uppercase, it's already been processed here. It's already been taken care of here by this function. So if reply is H, meaning higher, then the logic will do this. The value of v minimum will be equal to num plus 1. Okay, num being a variable which we have also declared here initially with a value of 5. Else if the value of reply is L, meaning lower, meaning you're telling the program that the number you have in mind is lower than what it is guessing, then it will do this logic. Vmaximum equals num, the value of variable num, minus 1. and it ends the if block on here. And after the if block, you have this formula. It's not necessarily an increment, but just logic to reset the value of num variable. So num equals v min plus v max minus v min over 2. This is what's called floor division, which we haven't discussed yet. Floor division is this division wherein if the number has a decimal value, you're simply truncating that decimal value. Let's say 15 divided by 2 equals 7.5. It will return 7, the whole number. Okay, so that's floor division. What it is doing here is you are trying to guess. Is actually there's no such program that could guess, that could read minds. What you're doing is the best effort of a program, which is you're having HALVing. You're dividing into half the data set. If it is 1 to 10 initially, you're defining that parameters, that range of values that the user can enter. And then at the first round of guessing, you go to the middle, which is 5. And then you further slice it half. You divide it until you zoom in on the number that the user has in mind. So you'll get the drift once you run this little bit of code over here. Okay, so I better run this now. So there's a sleep of 2 seconds, and then it prompts you. It tells the user, think of a number between 1 and 10. Okay, so it can be 1, it can be 10, it can be anything in between. Okay, let's just say I'm thinking of 8. Keep that in mind, I'm thinking of 8. So the program is asking me, is it 5? If it's a no, if it's a yes, I will just enter yes, and I will be out of this, and it's okay, everything's fine. Because I'm thinking of 8, then it's higher than 5, I will type H. It could be lower or uppercase, it doesn't matter. It will be taken care of by the program. Okay, so I'll enter lower case H, which means higher. So I'm saying the number I have in mind is higher than this value you're showing me, the 5. So now it is telling me, is it 8? Yeah, okay. It happened to be yes, so I will just enter yes, lowercase, uppercase, no problem. So it will say, gotcha. Okay, so let's do it again. Let's try something else that you might think is just a glitch or something. So think of a number, gives it 2 seconds of sleep, and then it asks you, is it 5? So again, I'm starting at the midway of the data set of 1 to 10. So let's just say I'm thinking of a low number like 2. So I will say it's not 5. So I won't enter yes. I will enter L, which means lower. Okay. Upper, lowercase, doesn't matter. So I'm thinking of 2, which is lower than 5. So I'll type L. Now it's asking me, is it 2? Yes, it's a yes. Okay. Now let's try something else that will not be so easy. Okay. I'm thinking of, let's say 7. Okay. Is it 5? No, I will say higher. This time I'll enter uppercase. Higher. 7 is higher than 5. I'll put H, enter. Is it 8? No, I will say lower. Is it 6? No, it's higher. Okay. And finally, it got me. So it's not genius thing. It's not genius stuff. And in fact, there's no program that can read people's minds. What it is doing is the best effort of dividing the data set into 2, so that each time it has about roughly 50% chance of guessing. Not really 50% chance, but I mean, every time you try to guess, even if it's wrong, with the prompting question of is it higher or lower, you're practically dividing the data set into 2. Okay, so gotcha. You have learned how to write a simple game. It's not graphical, but it is something practical and something that could excite you a little bit, because you will see at work the things we have taken up in the previous videos, except for one thing, which is floor division. But all the others have been taken up in the previous videos. We've talked about importing a library. The print has been used many times. We have the sleep, maybe the first time. Declaration of variables, the while loop, the use of the if condition, concatenation of strings here, expressions over here, commenting, and overall the approach on how to solve not so complicated logical problem. Okay. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Please subscribe if you haven't done so, and please spread the word. I hope to be seeing you in the next video.